Hey there, thanks for joining me today. If you're looking for all things Raleigh, the Triangle area, North Carolina, you have come to the right place. In today's video, we are going to talk about all the reasons to not move to Raleigh and the Triangle area, North Carolina. If that kind of content sounds interesting to you, please definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button below to stay on top of videos as we do drop them on a weekly basis. My name is Mike Wolgin. I'm the owner-operator of the Wolgin Real Estate Group, one of the Triangle area's top producing real estate teams as judged by the Triangle Business Journal. We do get calls, texts, emails, and Zoom requests with people just like you looking to learn about the area, and even people that are considering making a move. We'd love to be your local resource, so hit all of our contact information below in the comment section. Hit us up with any questions you have, or if you want to start making a plan to make a move here. Again, we'd love to be your local resource and help make your next move to the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Triangle area your best move. So we've done a lot of videos about Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, the entire Triangle area. 99% of them are all positive because frankly, it's a great place to live. It's a great place to be a single adult. It's a great place to raise a family. It's just a growing metropolis and a great place to be. But I did make a commitment when I made this channel to make sure that we always kept it 100 and we would discuss the bad with the good. So in today's video, having said that, I wanted to give everyone my list of reasons why this might not be the best fit for certain people, certain personalities. Again, everyone is different. This is a great place to be, but there are things to consider as you're making a move, especially for people coming from different places, coming from up north, out west, down south, even further down south. So my list of reasons to not move to the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Triangle area is as follows. Number one, if you have severe allergies. I like to say our fifth season here in North Carolina is pollen season. We live in the South. There's a heavy period of pollen. It's about 4 to 5 weeks, and it is no joke. People with allergies definitely struggle during pollen season. It is like a film of yellow pollen that fills the air and the ground, all the surfaces, and it's a bear to deal with. It can be really miserable for people with allergies. The good news is you can always medicate, but sometimes there's no amount of medication if you really struggle with allergies for that pollen season. It's that strong. So if you really struggle with your allergies, specifically pollen season, this might not be the best place for you to consider as your next home. I would say that number 2 reason, don't move here if your whole personality is which political party you affiliate with. The Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Triangle area is a really mixed bag politically. It's a diverse group of people from all over, so you never really know who you're talking to, whether it's your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. People keep politics at an arm's length because you think that you're having a conversation with somebody who's like-minded politically, and it's not, and a confrontation ensues. So to me, this is an area, because it's so 50-50 across the parties, that people keep their affiliation at arm's length. And where I grew up in a very small pocket in the city of Philadelphia, which Philadelphia is incredibly liberal anyway, but everyone around me sort of affiliated with the same party, and that's what you spoke about at dinner parties, and that's what you talked about passing by and just having conversations with people, catching up. I would say that's not really the case here at all. It is a very 50-50 flip of the coin state. If you have 10 neighbors, 5 could affiliate with one party, the other 5 another. So in an effort to avoid confrontation, people do keep that at arm's length. And if your your passion is politics, and specifically affiliation with a specific party in politics, this might not be the best place for you. The next reason not to move to Raleigh, North Carolina is if you're adverse to growth and change. I would not move here if you can't deal with change and growth. Raleigh is one of the 5th fastest growing cities in the country. With that growth, new schools get built, roads get constructed, roads get changed, widened. Infrastructure in particular infrastructure growth is always happening here. So what that means is there's a ton of construction. It's constant construction. My daughter, who just got her license, says she can't stand construction because it messes her up when she's trying to drive and navigate those cones and the safety things in the middle of the road. If you are bothered by growth and construction and infrastructure change, this is definitely not the place to be. It is constantly evolving, constantly things being added to deal with the rush of people that are moving to this area. So if you're adverse to those things and you want quiet and no construction and everything that looks the same, whether it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, this is not the right place for you. Take it from me, from somebody who's lived here since 2007. That's 17 years now. There are areas of the Triangle I don't even recognize anymore. Pockets of, I live in Southwest Wake County, pockets of Apex that were once huge farms, there are subdivisions now. So, or YMCAs or shopping centers. So things are evolving here. Things are constantly in flux and changing, which is great. You want to be in a city, I think you want to be in an area where people want to live. And with that desire to live here and influx of people comes constant change and infrastructure demands and construction. So if that stuff bothers you, it's not something, it's not a place I would put on my top 3 places to live. The next is don't move here if you don't have a car and you rely on public transportation. Other than the bus that goes around Raleigh and then the college buses that cater to the UNC students and the NC State students and the Duke students, there is no public transportation here. There's no L, there's no subway. Everything is 20 minutes away and you need a car to live here. So if you don't have a car and you were gonna live in one of the suburbs and rely on public transportation to get around, it's a very, very difficult problem to tackle because there just is nothing in place to handle the demand of public transportation. There just isn't enough public transportation to move here if you need it to get around. So if you don't have a car, I would say Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Triangle area is probably not the best fit for you. The next reason to not move to the Triangle area is if you want a big city. Like if you want the vibes of a big city, this is not the spot. We are a mid-major city. If you want 24/7, 365 action like New York City, this ain't it. You wanna go have dinner at 10? Not gonna happen. You wanna drink till 4 in the morning? Unless it's in your house, it's not gonna happen. So, it's not a small town, but it's definitely not a big city either. You don't have all the things that big cities have to offer in Raleigh. It is a slower pace way of living in a mid-major city. Again, it's not a small town, but it's definitely not a big city either. I would say what's great about it is it's a wonderful in-between. You get a lot of the benefits of living in a city without the headaches and constant action of actually living in the big city. So it's a great in-between, a great mixture of small town, big city. Being in mid-major cities is kind of like that sweet spot. The next reason not to live in Raleigh, North Carolina is, do you hate being hot? We live in the South. If you hate being hot, if so, then avoid Raleigh like the plague, because it's hot and it's humid. It is so freaking hot and humid. Showers do not take in August. That is a Seinfeld reference. Look it up. If you're hot and you take a shower, you're still gonna be hot when you get out and go to your car. It's just really hot here. The good news is there's AC everywhere. Where I grew up, I've said this a million times in my videos, old homes are like built in the 1800s. They didn't come with central air conditioning. Old homes here in the Triangle area are 1990s. Everything was built with central AC. So it makes it a lot easier to navigate the heat. And the climate does make winters more manageable, which is great. The next reason not to move to the Triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, don't move here if you are a snow bunny and you love snow. Don't get me wrong. If you want snow, you can go 3 hours to the mountains, get on a mountain, ski, snowboard, do all the things that you want to do. But we don't really get snow here. And if we do, it's usually a dusting. There's some hilarious memes on the internet of when we actually, every 10 years when we do get a major snow incident, how the city looks and manages. But if you're someone who wants snow all the time and just loves that kind of climate, this is not it. Also, it's not the kind of place to go if you like it and like snow and want to be in a place where there's infrastructure to manage it. When it snows here, everything shuts down. If there is a threat of snow, they close the schools. So if the forecast on a Wednesday night is calling for snow on a Thursday and your kids go to public school, you ain't going to school. And when it does snow, it takes forever to get the streets cleared and salted because, again, we don't have it, so we don't get it, so we don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. I remember I went to college in Ithaca, New York, which is in upstate New York. And when it snowed there, it would snow a lot and it would snow feet. And within hours, the roads would be clear. If it snowed feet here, see ya in April because we don't have the ability to manage it. So if snow and being in a place that knows how to manage snow is important to you, Raleigh is not the place. And finally, probably the thing that I've had the biggest issue with, because I'm such a huge sports fan and grew up in a city with 4 major sports teams, is the lack of major pro teams here. There's only one major four sports team here, and the Carolina Hurricanes. The good news is the Canes are usually good, at least they have been since I've lived here for 17 years. They definitely have had some lean years, but for the most part, they're very competitive. Going to a game at the Canes is incredibly fun, but there is no football team, basketball team, or pro baseball team here. You can go to Charlotte, which is about 2.5 hours away, and see a Carolina Panthers game in the NFL. They kind of, they've had some lean years too. Or you could go see a Charlotte Hornets game if you want, or an NBA fan, again in Charlotte. Also some lean years. There is no pro baseball team. What we do have is in Durham, we have the Durham Bulls, which is a AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays. So if you need a baseball fix, you can go into Durham and see the Bulls play, which is really fun. It lacks major pro sports in the Raleigh area, which has been a hard transition for me. I used to go to Phillies games, at least once a week. I love going to Sixers games, Eagles games, Flyers games. Having only one option here has been tough. Probably the biggest transition for me. Maybe silly for some people, but if you're looking for major sports, it might not be the place for you if that, again, is like a major important thing. So not too bad, in my opinion. Easily things that can be navigated, but if they are major pain points for you, those are the reasons that I wouldn't move to this area. Again, if they're major pain points. I hope that the video has been educational for you and you found value in it. Love that you guys tune in. Really appreciate the time you give me just to watch our videos. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below in the comments section. I will absolutely get to every single question or comment that is left on the video. And all of our contact information, again, is below. If you're looking to make a move now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 10 years from now, we want to be your local resource. Hit us up. All our contact information is in the comments below. We'd love to connect with you. And until the next video, thanks guys.